Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Thank you for joining me everyone. Welcome to Painting Watercolours with me, Colin. I thought I'd do this one today. It's an Arabian Dhow and it's going to be done in kind of a sunset, done in violets. And so I'm just leaving a thin film of water on the paper. Stretch my paper both sides. Quick run round of the colours I'll be using for this one. You don't have to use these colours, of course. Naples yellow, cobalt violet, alizarin crimson, cobalt blue, French ultramarine, burnt umber and a little bit of a neutral tint. And I think with that we'll mix up a colour. Naples yellow with some alizarin crimson. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Naples yellow in here. Take some of my colour and I'm just going to drop this around here. I'll be doing this sky probably in a couple of stages because I want one layer to sit on top of the other. So I'm working it through the Naples yellow. Just a slightly different colour. Violet, cobalt blue. And I'm just going to start to darken it slightly with some neutral tint. A little bit bluier than that, I think. I think that will do it. Take the excess water off the brush. Just filling in the blank areas really. Dropping a little colour in. Just making the sky interesting so it's not all one flat wash. Just added a little bit more crimson to it to darken up the bottom of the sky. Take some of the colour again. I want to add some into the sea. Bring the two colours together. And then we want to let that dry. Now that the first part of the sky is dry, let's add some water in there. Take some of the cobalt violet. This time I'm going to use French ultramarine to darken that violet. Maybe a touch more violet in that. And just a little bit of neutral tint. Maybe a bit more blue. We'll be glazing over this later because the next bit's a bit scary. That looks like what I want. I'll take some water. I'm going to put some cloud in. But I'm just adding water to where I want the clouds. This will help with the spread. And it doesn't matter if some of the paint underneath lifts off, but just don't play with it too much. Making a horizon line. Taking some of the colour and I'm just going to drop this in, move it around a bit. Just allowing this to spread and settle almost where it wants to. I'll take a little bit of water and just soften some of it. Clean water. Almost like a circle there, we'll get rid of that. Just trying to take off any hard edges that might form. You always miss something. There's a big cloud in here, so I'll just get some water in. Once again, I'm just dropping it into the water, that's all, and allowing it to spread. I'm just softening in, just moving the paint around slightly. Creating some interesting shapes with it. neutral tint. Just have some darker tones. And then I'm going to let that dry. Then I just want to take some of the same colour as the clouds, and we're just going to drop in some waves in the back here, just helping to create a horizon line. And just dusting and dashing and moving the brush, trying to not get a regular pattern. I'm going to add some more colour to that. French ultramarine crimson with some neutral tint. You can just make these bigger. And then we have to let this too completely dry. Now that's dry, I just want to make up a wash for glazing with. So I'm going to take plenty of water, some French ultramarine into that, some alizarin crimson, then I'm going to take it large, and I'm just going to cover the whole painting with a slight film of water. Fewer strokes as possible, and starting at the top. Add the glaze. Doesn't matter if the paper crinkles. And allow it to dry. Now that your glazes are dry, when that's dry you just restate your waves, the ones that you might like to pick out with the same colour you added before. And I've just re-wet the sail, and into that I'm just adding some cobalt violet, and we'll do each sail individually. And the water will help with the spread. Dark around here. Very pale on this outside edge. So I'm just pulling some of this colour down. Then I want to take some cobalt violet into the centre. Just a touch of crimson. I'm just going to start to shade it in. This is a bit of neutral tint, and we'll just gradually get darker. Shadow in here. And I want to really sand this colour down. Just by adding more neutral tint, really deepening it. And then a little bit more cobalt violet to it, just to transitions a bit more. Straightforward neutral tint. A little bit of burnt umber into that, and a touch of French ultramarine. It looks black, but it's a really deep violet. We'll do the back one, straightforward cobalt violet. I think we'll come round to the light side of the boat. There is a prow on this, I must remember. We'll take a tiny bit of violet. We just a touch stronger than that. It's just as a shadow on the underneath of the boat here. I'm going to actually add a little bit of red to that. A bit more. Sort of making a violet brown. And I'm just dropping this down the edge. With a damp brush, take out a little paint just to create a shimmer of light, and then I'm going to let that dry. Now that that's dry, I'm just coming to the back side of this sail here, which is this part. I'm just going to put some violets in this. So again, I'm just going to add some cobalt violet to this mixture here. Just begin to drop the darker parts of the sail in. Once again, just adding some more neutral tint to that. Take a damp brush and just pull some of this down. Some straightforward neutral tint. You could use a black for this, just mix up a black, but I have the neutral tint, so I'm going to use it. I'll take some clean water, come back to this side of the boat. It's quite dark this, but I'll do one of might get a little different change of flavour in it. I'm just going to put some burnt umber onto this, but you probably will not see this at all. Basically just going to take this, make this side really nice and dark. Bits and pieces everywhere. Then I'm going to leave that to dry. Now we come to the sail on the prow, and it's folding this way. It looks like there's two sails here, but there isn't. This is the back side of the sail as it's bulging this way, so that will be in shadow. So I'm just going to do the front part of the sail first. I added some cobalt violet. I want a pale streak down this side, down here. I'm going to allow some light to show through. I think this is the neutral tint that I mixed up before. I'll just drop it in here. Just make it a little bit lighter. Neutral tint and violet, cobalt violet. A little bit more violet into that. Now that part of the sail is dry, so we can move on to the darker part of the sail. This is just the same mixture of cobalt violet and neutral tint. Take the neutral tints and bring it in here, darken in the purple once again. Tiny sliver of light, slightly lighter there next to the sail, adding some real dark along the edge. And then I'm going to let that dry. Put the mast in. I've already put the little boom on the other sail at the back, so it's a little thicker. This mast will disappear behind the sail. There's also another one here. There's a prow that comes up here. I think some lines are attached to it. All that's left now basically is to put the rigging in. A young gentleman on the back here. So I'm just going to put the rigging in and then we'll get back. You won't miss much on the rigging, it's just time consuming and you'll see what it looks like when the rigging's on it. I'm just taking some white paint. This is Magellan Mission Gold. It's really good for highlights. It saves you scratching the paper out and having to reserve white paper if you don't want to damage your painting. This covers really well. And this is where you get to sign it, put a mount around it and frame it. I'd like to thank all my subscribers for watching, and if you're new to this channel, welcome to this channel. Please feel free to leave a comment, please feel free to have a go at any of these paintings on my channel. You are quite welcome to do so. And so, until next time, thank you very much for watching. Thank you.